Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the narcissists. We're going to talk about how to heal from them, how to deal with them, and we're even going to talk a little bit about how to help them heal. And the reason why I'm so passionate about talking about the narcissists is because I believe that everybody needs to learn about them so that you can protect yourself, because they do a lot of psychological damage and they can be very toxic, they can be very hurtful. And if you don't know who you're dealing with, then you can become a victim, and then you could spend years feeling like something is wrong with you when it's really that you're probably a very nice person with morals and values, and you have just gotten tangled up with a narcissist. So let's break them down a little bit. So, narcissists value and they devalue, and that is a form of splitting. Splitting is black and white thinking. So, they either think you're amazing or they think you are the scum of the earth. There's no in between. And if they value you, you're going to be in their good graces and they're going to say nice things to you. But if they devalue you, they don't want to hear you. Most people don't split in the way that they do. Let's say your friend hurts your feelings and they say something really mean to you, you'll rationalize, you'll stay in the gray and you'll say, well, she's done so many nice things for me. I am angry at her for saying that to me, but I'm going to let it go. Now, should you feel sorry for the narcissist? I've heard so many people say, don't ever feel sorry for the narcissist. But think about this. It is a mental disorder. And I'm not saying to feel sorry for them because they wreak havoc on people, but understand they have learned ways to cope from mental abuse, whether it's a too harsh parent, too permissive parent, a neglectful parent, an absent parent. These are coping mechanisms that they have learned to deal with the abuse. What I'm saying is it helps to put things into perspective. You don't have to take it so personal. They're doing the best they can with what they know, even though it's highly dysfunctional. Let's talk about criticism. These people can be extremely critical and verbally abusive. But the interesting, ironic thing is criticism doesn't work on them. And I know they confront people, so they need a taste of their own medicine. The problem is they won't get it. They will see you as being mean and see themselves as the victim. What I'm essentially saying here is for healing purposes. So if you think, I can teach the narcissist to be a better person and to be kinder by criticizing them, that is not going to teach them to heal. Number one, they're not going to have enough people doing that to them for them to step back and say, hey, maybe this is me, even though it's very difficult for them to look internally. It's almost impossible. They're going to feel bad for themselves and they're not going to understand why you did it, even though they deserved it and they deserve the confrontation. And I'm not saying that you should never confront a narcissist. In fact, I think you have to kind of gauge the situation. But if you have a narcissist that's really pushing to be your friend, or you have a narcissist that you're going to be working closely with all the time, I think there comes a point when you do have to confront the narcissist. Keep in mind, these people are very sensitive. So even though they are the most critical, harsh, confrontational people on earth, some of them hate confrontation. I don't know if it triggers memories of a too harsh parent subconsciously or what, but sometimes confrontation is necessary and they're very sensitive. So you can kind of talk around it by letting them know, I am confrontational when I need to be. I am not going to allow someone to disrespect me. So you might be surprised. Some of them will get that. Go with your gut instinct, definitely gauge the situation, and then also set boundaries. Let that person know in a friendship world, this friendship is about to be cut off. And you have to show them with your actions. You know, maybe there's a time period that you step away from them for a while so that they see, oh my goodness, she's not joking. She will let this friendship go. And if they still can't get it, bye bye. they can learn to act better. And then the third thing is go for harmony. And I know that also may sound weird, but you can have harmony with a high functioning narcissist. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have an occasional moment that they may do something, but for the most part, you can strive for harmony. So if you are on the harmony train with a narcissist, because sometimes we can't choose our situations, like work situations, then you're going to model positive behavior for them. Believe it or not, they can imitate that, and they can start to learn how to be more like that. I've had narcissists to say that their parents never taught them kindness, that it was never modeled in their home. So modeling that type of behavior for them is a baby step to them healing. But they don't trust people because they've been really, really hurt and damaged. So now if you don't have their trust and they're not valuing you and you are really kind, that could be a trigger that could backfire because it's going to remind them subconsciously of how they're not. So we talked earlier about black and white thinking. The reason why they do that is because it keeps them safe. They have to know a set of rules in order to stay above being hurt, especially as children when this damage was being done. It's like, I'm going to go all the way over here, or I'm going to go all the way over there. I'm not going to take a chance somewhere in the middle. They have very fragile egos, so many people are sensitive. If they confront you and you confront them, they may hate you forever. They filter things differently. I like to bake may be interpreted as you think I'm a terrible cook and that you're better than me. So sometimes things that you're saying positive about yourself, that could be interpreted by them as you're bragging. They're always thinking that people are bragging when you're not bragging at all. They speak a different language. So if you listen to their belief system and rationale for how people should behave, especially mean narcissists, you're nodding your head in agreement with them, but inside you're thinking, what are they talking about? So sometimes they're saying things that just don't make any sense, but in order to get through it, it's like you're having to go along with that crazy train of thought because it's too many faulty beliefs to just confront. Someone that they deem to be not smart may not be a good reason for them to justify someone as a bad person in your mind. So you may think, well, that person isn't a bad person, but to them, they think, oh, that person is awful. They are allergic to feelings. They can't identify them. Telling them to be sad about something is like throwing water on a gremlin. They can't handle it. I think one of the reasons why they have a hard time with feeling sad is because when you are feeling for someone else, it's a subconscious trigger of no one caring for them when they were a kid emotionally. And that's a hard place to have to go back to. So they hate it. No one felt for them. They learned not to feel compassion for others because no one felt compassion for them. And that's an extremely painful place and a place that they've learned to block out. So they did not learn how to internalize feelings at all. They don't understand what sadness, what empathy, they don't even, sometimes you can confront a narcissist and say, you sure were angry, or you were really upset with so and so, and they'll tell you, I wasn't angry. I wasn't mad. There's no complete cure for mental disorders like this. There's no pill that will erase it, but you want to put them in normal range of functioning. So that's how a therapist could help them. Lack of empathy can be found in the frontal lobe. So there was damage done there. So their point of view is skewed because they had to learn to survive at an early age. So they're immature, really. They have arrested development. It's like dealing with a 2-year-old sometimes. What's interesting about them is they don't seem to really like other narcissistic people. They can see the cruelty in them. They will disown their parents for exhibiting the same behavior that they do in others. So they recognize it in other people, but they just don't recognize that behavior in themselves. They are highly sensitive to criticism. Their egos are very, very fragile. So they can take something that is not meant to be insulting and turn it into something insulting. Like I once witnessed a guy give a narcissist a pair of gloves when it was freezing cold outside, and she was infuriated by that because she said that that meant he felt like she was incapable of taking care of herself when it was only a kind gesture. So it's hard because you don't know when you're going to set them off. Ironically, they don't like mean people. They don't like people who say cruel things. If you say something mean to them, they'll say, "Why are you trying to ruin my life?" But they don't see that they're very harsh and cruel to other people. They tend to be drawn to nice people, to normal people, to very stable people. So you have to kind of watch out for that. So let's talk about a few more things you can do if you have to be around a narcissist. So here's something interesting about them. They like gifts. That's their love language usually. And for some of them, it's also words of affirmation. So giving them little treats is a way to soften things and make things a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be expensive gifts. It could be a bag of chips. It could be, "Hey, I got donuts this morning. Here's a donut." They'll do the same for you. Because sometimes they know something is inherently wrong on a deeper level. So an apology from them is usually a gift. So I'd say have fun with it. It lightens things and it can bridge some gaps because they can't say it, they can show it. Also, occasionally, if you see them doing something positive, then let them know that. "Hey, I appreciate how you handled that situation. That was awesome." That goes a long way for them. Because remember, the narcissist maintains very high, unrelenting standards for himself, and they can have a very strong inner sense of shame, loneliness, and mistrust. Positive feedback is key. And also remember to keep things in perspective. Remember, you're going for harmony, so you want to be receptive, you want to be open, listen without judgment, be flexible, be encouraging and insightful. And remember, sometimes they have great ideas, so share your ideas with them and try to do some fun things together. Collaborate. If you're in a situation with a narcissist and you are modeling positive behavior, you can also model a heartfelt apology. Another thing you can do is pray to God and ask Him to send the spirit of peace in Jesus' name, and that works really well. And you also want to forgive them because forgiveness is for you, it's not for them. And that's one way to let go of some of the hurts that they have done to you. You know, in the Bible, Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not." So you can kind of apply the same concept. And finally, protect yourself. Most of us were taught to give people the benefit of the doubt, but that idea goes out the window when somebody is berating you or mistreating you. That could mean finding a new job, ending a relationship, or reporting someone to a supervisor. Don't keep secrets. Let someone know when somebody is treating you poorly. That way someone is aware, and because you shouldn't protect narcissist bad behavior by keeping it a secret. So I hope this was helpful to someone out there. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then hit the thumbs up button and share it with others who you think it might help. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching Tam's Psych Advice. Bye!